Oop. Gotta mute that. I discovered the hard way that you'll get an echo if you don't mute the YouTube part. Okay, so we're live on YouTube. All right, let me go ahead and call the first case if everyone's ready. This is cause number CCL 08C541, the interest of Haley Wyatt. And I believe the other children are no longer involved in the case. Is that correct? Just Haley?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay.
And Your Honor, Shelby Hudson is the caseworker on this one.
Let me bring her in then.
Judge, I'm going to have to work without a camera because it keeps freezing up.
Okay. As long as I can hear you, we're good.
Y'all let me know if you can't.
Let's see. Shelby, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
There she is. Okay. All right, Ms. Shelton, you may proceed.
Your Honor, Haley is currently in an RTC in Travis County. She's doing really well. She's the RTC actually put in a 30-day discharge saying that she had met her therapeutic goals. They actually are an RTC, so as soon as placement gets the packet, we're going to ask if she can remain in that particular RTC. She has a really good counselor there. She has great rapport with her, and we feel like it would be in her best interest to continue her counseling with that particular counselor. There's an aunt in New Mexico that wants custody of Haley, so we're going to do background checks on her, make sure that everything checks out with her, and if so, because Haley is 17 years old, we may not have to do an ICPC. And if Haley is in agreement, then we may just request to move her there. But other than that, everything's status quo.
I guess my question would be, you don't know for sure if an ICPC is going to be required if that placement pans out to be an appropriate one?
I don't believe it. If her background comes back clear, I don't believe an ICPC will be necessary.
Okay.
Your Honor, the only reason why we would need an ICPC is if we were going to place her there and keep the case open. But with her being 17 and this being her aunt and her wanting to be there and her aunt wanting custody, if we're just going to do a PMC situation, then we wouldn't need the ICPC. The ICPC purpose is to have someone there who's going to monitor them. But if that's not what we're asking for, then we wouldn't need it.
Anyone know any reason why the aunt hasn't stepped forward before now? She's been in care for a long time.
Well, she's only been in care for a little or right around 90 days. She was in care before, and we terminated the parents.
Okay,
and gave
that's what I
custody
was.
to a grandparent,
That's
and then
what I
the
was thinking
grandparent
about.
came back. Right.
Okay.
So Haley has mentioned this aunt ever since she's been in care this time. Shelby was just able to get her on the phone and talk with her. It took some time trying to get her number because she was in New Mexico. So we've just actually made contact this week with her, and she, definitely wants her and wants custody. But she and her husband and their two children have to get their background checked since they live in New Mexico.
Okay. So this is something that Haley wants as well, then. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hudson, can you shed any light on what we're talking about here?
I think they covered pretty much all of it. She does talk about wanting to live with that aunt quite a bit. I think she is doing well in her placement.
Okay. Ms. Hammond?
And Your Honor, we had a good circle of support for her to kind of get to know some of the family dynamics and what her goals are. I think that this aunt's home is probably a better option for what we had come up with, just because if she can start next school year there, she's less likely to leave before she graduates. She's scheduled to graduate next spring. And whereas if she remains in care, she can leave when she's 18, and that happens whenever, I believe it's in February of 2022 that she turns 18. And if that's the case, then we can't. My experience has been that they'll claim that they'll stay in care to graduate from high school, but then they very rarely follow through. So if we can make this aunt work, I think that we're setting her up to graduate from high school with a better plan instead of just leaving care at 18.
Does anyone have any idea how long it'll take to get the study done?
Well, to get the background checks back,
Right.
well, I mean, it's kind of dependent on them, how quick they go get their fingerprints, and it'll just depend on the state.
Is that all that's going to be required? Is background check?
Yes, sir, on our end.
Okay. Okay. Casa.
Your Honor, my advocate's in agreement with this plan. I don't have the aunt's contact information, but we're happy to reach out to the department and do like a virtual visit and kind of make contact with her. And then if we have a local CASA office in the area, sometimes I can call and see if they'll do a courtesy visit out there as well. So we can do some research on our end, but I definitely do think it's something to explore, especially with Haley being 18, and this is something that she does want.
Okay, I would like for you to take those steps you just outlined if you could. That sounds like a good plan.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Don't have to review until August. Do we need to review before then?
I would say maybe review around May so that we can see what this aunt is, and then work out a schedule for transfer of custody to the aunt if that is what's in Haley's best interest, but get her most of the way through this school year. She has had some schooling issues in the past. And so this, if we can complete the school year where she's at, if she's able to stay in that RTC, then that'll be probably what's best for her. If she's moving schools, then we could probably just go ahead and transfer custody in May to the aunt, but that would give us time to really know.
Okay. What is the May date, Ms. Hill?
May 7th.
All right. Then the court's order will be continue with the department as permanent managing conservator. Current placement is approved. I do want the department to pursue this possible other placement based upon the results of the study or the background check and so forth. And I'll set it for review on May 7th. Anything further in this case from anyone?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Oh, before I forget, there was a Region 10 judges meeting yesterday. One of the things that was brought to our attention by Judge Charles, who's the regional presiding judge, is there is pending before the legislature a fairly significant bill regarding removal of children and the definitions of abuse or neglect and so forth. If it passes, the general, I briefly scanned it. I haven't studied it in detail. But the general impression of Judge Charles was that it would make it more difficult to remove a child. So
Great.
you might want to take a look at that. I don't have the number, but I'm sure I can get it from Judge Charles's office if you're interested. He didn't give his opinion about the possibility of passage, but it's introduced by one of our senators from adjoining county, which is Judge Hughes over in Mineola. So there is a Senate bill before the legislature.
Hmm.
Okay. Next case is cause number CCL 20C037, the Haywood Williams matter. Do I have the parents in the waiting room in that case?
Probably.
Let's see, Jamie Williams. Let me see if I can find, there's Jamie. Yeah, I'm gonna let her in.
Your Honor, I spoke to Miss Williams this morning and she said that Mr. Haywood was going to try to be there, but he might have to leave for work.
Okay. Was he gonna try to be there with her or with someone else?
Want to say he's with her, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yes,
I guess
Donald,
he is.
there he is. Okay,
yeah, his boss told him he could do the court and then go to work.
very good. Can you hear and see us okay, Ms. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Shelton. You can't see Ms. Shelton, by the way, Ms. Williams. She's having some technical difficulties, but you can hear her.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Shelton.
Your Honor, the monitored return with Timothy is going good so far. They got him enrolled in school and then the blizzard hit. But he has been going to school. They received their heaters from For the Sake of One, and those heaters do have the emergency shut off. The space heater that was kind of a danger to the home and to the kids has been removed. They've put a gate up where that hole in the floor was. They put locks on their doors. There's no more bug issues. So they've definitely made progress as far as repairing the home and making it safe for the return of all the kids. So at this point, we are requesting that Benjamin and Joe come home first. They have not come home yet, correct, Jill? They have come home? They have not.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying
Okay.
you were correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
We're going to request that they come home first, get daycare set up for them. And then when we come back in April, go ahead and bring Donald and Randy home at that time.
Now they're in separate foster homes, is that correct?
Yes,
The
Your Honor.
2 and 2?
Correct.
That's what I thought I recalled. Okay. And who is my ad litem in this case?
Cindy.
I'm the ad litem.
Let me hear from you, Ms. Hammond.
I think that this plan is the one that would best set the parents up for success, because of course we don't want this monitored return to fail. That's what we're trying to do, is mitigate any failures. And so I think that this would be the way to do it that we're most likely to succeed.
You don't think they're ready for all 4 children right now?
I think that that would overwhelm them because of the different needs of the children. And so if we can get daycare set up for the 2 that we're bringing in, when we bring the next 2 in, it's going to be easier to set up daycare. And then those children also have a few more therapies that are going to have to be set up. And so this will make it where they're not trying to set up therapies and daycare for 4 children, but 2 at a time.
Okay. Let's see. Mr. Albertson.
Your Honor, we're certainly in agreement. I mean, I think both myself and Miss Anderson, we talk to Miss Williams and Mr. Haywood quite regularly. They keep up with what they're supposed to do. They've followed through. So just proud of our clients, and hopefully they continue to do what they're supposed to, and we can make this work.
Ms. Anderson?
Your Honor, I agree with that. Although they're ready for all 4 boys to come home, they're willing to do this step up plan. And I would just echo what Mr. Albertson said. I'm really proud of them. They've been very good about using community resources and reaching out to people when they needed any help. And I'm pleased with how well they've done.
Casa.
I'm going to piggyback off of Carly a little bit. I'm pleased with the parents too. I know they've kind of reached out to me personally on some things. So I'm just thankful that they're willing to set, their circle of support and utilize the resources around them. And I do believe with Cynthia, what she's trying to say as far as staggering the children, I do think that's setting them up to a successful reunification rather than just overwhelm them.
Okay. Well, it's worked fine so far. That's a good sign. I'm also pleased that Mr. Haywood, Ms. Williams have been able to come to this point regarding the problems they had with their home. So I'm going to approve that request. I'll place a monitored return for Benjamin and Joe at this time, and we'll review it on April, is that the 16th? Is that the next date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Williams, y'all keep doing what you're doing. That's encouraging to the court. You're trying to do what you need to do to get these kids back. The kids need to be back with you.
Yeah.
That's the desire and goal of the court. I do like the stair-step approach because I don't need to tell you that 5 small children are a handful.
Oh, yeah, they are, but we'll manage.
Okay. All right. Well, I know, let's see. I know Mr. Haywood needs to get to work, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude this case. We've never heard anything on Mr. Donaldson, the question of paternity.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, you made a finding that he was the father because we had set up so many DNA tests that he failed to attend.
Right.
It was in an order, I think maybe in January.
Right. Okay. But he's never appeared or taken any action in the case.
Correct.
He appeared at the first court hearing. It was in person at the very first removal hearing. And he's had communication with Jill. He just doesn't show up for his DNA test. So.
Okay. But he's not trying to visit with the child or anything else. He's the father
No,
of
sir.
the oldest child. Is that correct?
Correct.
The one that just came home.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be the court's order in this case. Ms. Williams and Mr. Haywood, y'all are excused. Good luck to you. I'll see you in April.
We got to come back April 16th.
April 16th. Hopefully at that time I can send the other 2 children back to you. Okay. And then you'll have all of them. So get ready.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. You can sign off. Next case is the CCL 20C174, the Nottingham Lear matter. And I know Mr. Lear's in the waiting room. I'll let him in.
Check.
I don't know what that money is.
And Ms. Nottingham, is she in the waiting room?
I would
No, Your
seriously
Honor.
doubt
No,
it,
we
Judge.
can't. I want to, but we can't.
Hello?
I gotta call
Yes.
and find out.
Okay, hold on.
I was like, I thought we already had that money.
Carly, you're not muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Lear, can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm trying to find out if Ms. Nottingham is in the waiting room. I don't want to skip over her.
I doubt it, Judge.
Has she appeared in the past?
No, Your Honor.
I didn't think so. Is her whereabouts still unknown? I think it was unknown at
I
one
mean,
point.
we've seen her a few times throughout the county.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Ms. Shelton, you may proceed.
Your Honor, at this time, we would request that the court appoint Talmadge Lear permanent managing conservator over Ivy. He has proven himself to be worthy of that appointment. He has done great, worked all his services, has a stable home environment for her. We would ask that the court appoint April possessory, but we would like no visitation until further order of the court. We would also ask that there be a provision in there that Ivy have no contact with Edgar Lear and or Tanya Lear. And we would ask court to dismiss all other court order relationships.
Give me those names again, Edgar or Tanya.
Lear, yes, sir.
How are they related?
Edgar is grandfather and Tanya is grandmother slash April, help me out here.
She's paternal step grandmother and maternal aunt.
Their previous dealings with the child is one of the things that led us here.
Yes, sir.
And they've got an ongoing CPS investigation concerning the children that are in their house right now.
Okay. We do have, there has been service on April on Ms. Nottingham, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't
And
indicate.
she
that-
also appeared at the first hearing too, Judge, in person.
If she did, then I advised her of her right to counsel, and I assume she did not ask for counsel at that time. Is that correct?
That's right. She said she was in agreement with the plan at that time and did not want counsel.
Okay, but she hasn't actually followed the plan?
No, sir.
Mr. Lee, I assume that you're,
We have no objections.
okay.
We're all for this, Your Honor.
Let's see, who's my ad litem in this case?
Me, Your Honor, I have been to see Mr. Lear recently and had a nice visit with him, the child, his mom, where he's currently living, and just very encouraged by his whole overall attitude and maybe hoping someday to go back and finish those last 2 years of college. Really liked his mom. Just really excited about hopefully getting him moved forward in this.
Where does he live?
He lives in Longview,
Okay,
and he's currently living in a little duplex with his mom. And it seems to be neat, clean. I mean, you know, everything that I've been hearing from everyone else, it's exactly so. And she even told me that the child got sick the other day and threw up, and he actually did all the cleaning up. So
that's impressive.
apparently, according to her and the way that all went down, it was impressive. So anyway, I wish him the best.
Mr. Lear, are you ready to take on this rather awesome responsibility?
Absolutely. That's everything I'm working for, and she's my whole life. I can't wait.
You plan on staying in Longview, or do you have other plans?
Yes, sir. I have a job here, and I'm looking for a place that's nearby, that's close to her daycare and close to my job and everything. But I do plan on staying in Longview. I like it here.
Okay, there was mention that you might try to pursue your education further.
Yes, Your Honor. I have my associate's degree. I was working towards my bachelor's, and I would like to finish that as soon as I get the chance.
Okay. Casa?
Your Honor, I'm in agreement with the dismissal. I have visited with her dad, and she's very bonded to him. She's a daddy's little girl, checked in at daycare. They have no concerns either, so I feel good about this.
It's department recommending no visitation by Ms. Nottingham because of her failure to appear at these sessions. Has she indicated that she wants to visit in the past?
Judge, we've had no contact with Miss Nottingham,
Okay.
and
Mr.
she
Lear,
worked no services.
have you had any contact with her, Mr. Lear?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So she hasn't called you, asked to visit the child, anything like that?
No, sir. I don't believe she has a way to contact me, and I would not like to be in contact with her if possible because she's in a bad way from what I understand, and she's not she doesn't have any intention of being a parent. She has 2 other kids who she's lost custody of and doesn't care about them either. So
Okay. Well, I'm going to follow the recommendations, and I'm going to appoint Mr. Lear as permanent managing conservator of this child with all the rights, duties, obligations, responsibilities of a permanent managing conservator under the Texas Family Code. I'll appoint Ms. April Nottingham as possessory conservator because of her lack of previous contact with the child or failure to appear in court and show any effort toward any service plans or any other plans that might have been invoked. The court does not appoint her as a joint managing conservator, but instead she's appointed as a possessory conservator. At this time, the court will not allow any visitation with the child until such time as she evidences an intent to try to visit with the child, and until such time as appropriate arrangements can be made for those visits. For those reasons, although the family code presumes that a parent be appointed joint managing conservator, in this case, court finds that it would not be in the child's best interest and could be harmful to her emotional well-being. Anything further in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe I heard you state that there will be no contact with Edgar Lear and his spouse.
I didn't state that, but I intended to.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
grant that request insofar as I'm able to do so. I do have some question about these no contact orders when the persons are not parties to the suit. But I do have the power to act in the best interest of the child. So I think under that circumstance, I have the authority, the jurisdiction and authority to enter that order. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Lear.
thank you, Your Honor.
Take care of her.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
And you're excused. You can sign off.
Thank you, sir.
Next is CCL 20C175, interest of a child, the Pickett Garcia matter. And I need to get the parties in here. I have a lot of people in the waiting room, so I'm going to need help. Ms. Hill, as I call out names, let me know if any of these should be involved in this case. Tanya Baker,
No, sir.
No, that'll be,
Scott Arwood. That's a different case.
no,
August
Yes.
Crawley,
that's the Arwood case.
there's an LG L322DL.
I don't know.
Let me see.
Your Honor, would you like me to try to contact her and see if she's in the waiting room? She did contact me this morning and ask for the meeting ID. I can ask if she can tell me which phone she's using.
Please do so. Thank you very much. She's been on before. I'm going to guess that she may be the LG phone.
Your Honor, she said that she is not in the waiting room right now. She is trying to get in there, but none of those are her.
Oh, okay. Does Mr. Garcia, is he going to appear?
He's incarcerated, Your Honor.
Okay. He's not asked to appear.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Now the 322, the LG just popped up again, so let's see if that's her. Is this Miss Williams? Can you identify yourself, please? Whoever's on the LG phone.
Huh?
Hello?
Hello?
Who are you, please?
Oh, this is Raheem Bay.
Oh, Mr. Bay, okay. We haven't reached your case yet, but we will, okay? So just hang loose. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room for now, okay?
Okay.
All right. So that's LG 322 DL is Mr. Bay. I don't see anyone else. Let's go on to the next case and I'll come back to this one. Okay, and this one is the one that Mr. Bay is involved in. It's CCL 20C412. In Ray, Zyrick Jimerson and Zendrick Jimerson. Let me let him back in. And Miss Singleton, is she in the waiting room? Ms. Anderson, do you know if Miss Singleton's in the waiting room?
She should be, Your Honor. I've talked to her this morning and gave her the ID number.
Okay. She's not on with Mr. Bay, is she?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, there's a TM. I wouldn't think that would be her. Galaxy Tab. Any idea how she's appearing, Ms. Anderson?
No, sir. We can call her real quick.
Okay, would you do that?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
And Your Honor, whenever we get back around to the previous case, Miss Pickett has notified me that she's in the waiting room now and she's going to stay until we're ready for her.
Yeah, I think she's a Moto G stylist, I think is the way she's showing up. I just saw it pop up a few minutes ago.
Your Honor, Ms. Singleton says she's using an LG phone and she is in the waiting room.
Okay. Well, then there's two LG phones. I will assume that she's this one. Ms. Singleton, can you hear us? Ms. Singleton, I can see you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Ms. Singleton, can you hear us?
I'm sorry?
I said, can you hear us, Ms. Singleton?
Yes.
This is Judge
Yes.
Dowd. Okay, we can see you just fine. All right, I'm about to take up your case, okay?
Okay.
And Mr. Bay is also online. I don't see him. Mr. Bay, there he is. Okay. All right, Ms. Sheldon, you may proceed.
Your Honor, the children were placed or in the home of Miss Singleton's aunt after the weather passed. It was on February the 23rd, I believe. They're doing great. The visits are going well with Dad. They've met with him, I believe, 3 times now. They've had 3 visits.
Two
Kids seem
visits. Ms. Black says 2.
Oh, 2
Wow.
visits. Okay. I
Okay.
knew they just had 1 more, so I wasn't sure if that was the second or third. The visits are going really well with Dad. Both kids seem very bonded to both parents. Mom is participating in services. She's doing her counseling, domestic violence, and parenting. So at this point, we just request status quo.
Okay. Ms. Anderson?
Your Honor, Ms. Shelton covered what I was going to bring up about my client's progress on her services, so we're in agreement.
Okay. Mr. Bay, have you been able to visit with the children?
Yes, I kind of don't like this visitation, you know, seeing my children like this. I just want to have a question with you. Have I violated the Treaty of Peace Friendship of 1787?
Well, I have absolutely no idea, and that's not relevant.
Okay, can I
Not
read this
relevant
to
to
you?
this case. No,
Okay.
I don't need to hear that.
No, I'm saying concluded January 1787, ratified by the Continental Congress.
Mr. Bay, Mr. Bay, I need you to step back from the phone a little bit and read slowly so I can understand you, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Bay, I've had these types of conversations before. I'm not interested in.
I haven't never had
what you're
this
trying to tell me.
conversation. I wasn't aware.
But I've had them, and what you're trying to tell me.
You're obligated to uphold.
What you're trying to tell me has nothing to do with this case.
Yes, but I'm asking this for a reason. As a Moorish American, that's my citizenship. As a Moor, that's my heirship and inheritance by the land of Northwest of Medicine, of Northwest Africa, of North America. And if any of the citizens of the United States or any person under the protection shall have any dispute with each other, the council shall decide between the parties, and whenever the council shall require any aid or assistance from our government to enforce his decision, it shall be immediately granted to him. That's in the Article 20 of the Treaty of Peace Friendship.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell me?
As I'm saying, I've been violated because in order for a crime to exist, have to be an injured party. And I was just trying to see, have I violated the treaty of peace friendship? That's all I was asking.
I have no idea whether you have or not, and I don't find that to be relevant to this case. Is there anything else that you'd like me to know?
Yes. Can you state your status, your name, and nationality for the record?
My nationality is immaterial, but my status is I'm the county court at law judge of Cass County. My name is Donald Dowd.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Our status, the first issue.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. The court will continue the existing orders of the court, including visitation with the children by Mr. Bay, as previously outlined. And we need a review date.
I don't see any, well, the next required isn't until July the 2nd. We would ask to review it on May the 7th, Judge.
Yeah, it needs to come earlier than July.
Like this case dismissed.
Well, I'm not going to grant that motion, sir.
Your job, your job is to protect and preserve and secure my rights, right?
No, sir. My job is to protect the children and make sure that they're safe.
Hey, don't you take an oath to uphold the American Constitution as an officer? As an officer, right?
Yes, sir. I have taken that oath.
Okay, so that means stare decisis. That has already been decided, right?
No, that's not what it means.
Already decided.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And this my I don't know if you heard about my name correction. Here's my paperwork. This judicial notice. This is the judicial notice and proclamation to all elected, all non-elected, and to all appointed United States Republic officials, public service and officers of trust, etc., doing business as of and for the federal, state, city, and municipal government, including their personnel, their contractors, and their associate corporate entities doing business at North America, and to all third parties, interlopers, or contractors, etc., concerning their fiduciary obligation, their official oath, and their duties enumerated in the American Constitution adopted for government of the United States Republic, all binding treaties, the established laws of the land, and all statutory and civil law codes of the land, etc. Know all men by these publications and present upon my heirship inherent to nobility, and upon my private original indigenous proper person status and commercial liability, I, Rakeem Bey, being duly affirmed under the constituent unity, pledge my national, political, and spiritual allegiance to my Mobite Moorish nation, being archive original indigenes of America, the America, standing squarely affirmed upon my oath to the 5 point of light, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Mr. Bay, everything you're telling me has no relevance to this case, none whatsoever. So I'm going to stop you. I have already ordered that the existing orders of the court will continue until the next hearing date, which will be May 7, 2021. All right. Anything further? Parties to this case are excused. Okay, we'll come back to the Garcia Pickett matter. Let me find, I believe she's on this Moto G stylus. That would be Mrs. Pickett. Ms. Pickett, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Can you turn your video on?
Yes, sir. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah. Got it. Wow. Here I am.
There you go. Can you hear and see me okay, Ms. Pickett?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is it Mr. Garcia, is he going to appear?
No, he's in Mexico.
Okay,
He was deported, Judge.
okay. All right, Ms. Shelton.
Your Honor, at this time, I am happy to report that mom is doing great. Her drug tests have been negative. And she's been doing counseling. She completed parenting. She is working. And then Jamie's mom, maternal grandmother, is actually staying with Gabby whenever, like when mom is working, we're going to be requesting maternal grandma to stay with Gabby while mom is at work. So we are requesting a monitored return at this time. We do have a support system for Gabby through the maternal grandmother. I think this is going to be great for Gabby. It's going to be great for Jamie. They have great house for Gabby, and Gabby and her mom are extremely bonded. And so we think this will be in Gabby's and mom's best interest.
Who's my attorney ad litem?
Ms. Hammond.
I am, and I am in agreement with the department. This child is ready to go home, and I think mom is ready, and I think we're all ready.
Okay. Casa? Is Casa ready?
Yes. I visited the home. It's appropriate, safe for Gabby to come back. I actually visited Gabby recently at school, and during our conversation, she just brought up that she misses her mom. She's ready to go back and live with her. I did not fetch for that information. She just brought it up to me, and so it was comforting to hear. So I think it's time for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, Ms. Pickett. I'm going to grant that request. Looks like you're pretty happy about that.
I'm so ecstatic. There's no words to explain how much I feel right now.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing as far as staying clean. You do understand it's difficult sometimes to stay clean, but we're going to need you to do that. Do you think you can continue what you've been doing?
I know I can with my support group and all my friends and family that's been helping me. As long as I just, stay clear and keep my kids focused, number one, I'm going to be fine. I think I'm going to be just fine. And I got a lot of support. So if I ever felt like there was a time, all I got to do is just reach out, and they're there for me. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Well, very good. I'm going to grant the monitored return of the child at this time to her mother. Record reflects the father does not appear and apparently is not presently in this country. And I'll need a review date.
Your Honor, we'd like to come back on June 4th for possible dismissal if everything is going well.
Will you continue to test Ms. Pickett in the interim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Just be careful, Ms. Pickett. I run a drug court program, and so I've seen what a strong pull those drugs can be. So just know that everyone wants this child to be back to you on a permanent basis, but you've got to earn that right. You understand?
I understand completely, sir. I do know I do have an addiction. That's something I'm gonna have to live with the rest of my life. But I feel like with all, the counseling and the parenting classes and the church and all my support, that I've come a long, long ways from where I was. And I don't even want to even go back that way. I want my kids, and I want to move forward and be productive. I want my kids to be proud of me.
Well, they will be. They will be. So, and we're proud of you. So you just keep up the good work, and I'll see you again on June 4. And at that time, hopefully I can enter a final order in this case. Okay.
All right, I appreciate everybody's help and thank y'all very much.
You can sign off now.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
The next case is CCL 20C415, the HARP matter.
And Judge, I just got a note from Tina that Miss Harp is in the waiting room.
Okay, let me see. I have no idea what she's appearing as, unfortunately.
I'm asking Tina real quick. Tina says she's already hung up, so she's not sure which phone she is calling from.
Why'd she hang up?
She hung up with Tina. She called Tina. I'm sorry. She called Tina and was talking to her, but she's already hung up.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll try to find out. There's an iPhone there. Let's see who that is. Can you tell me who you are on the iPhone, please? Can you hear me?
That is
Yeah.
her, Your Honor.
That's her. That's Miss Hart. Well, I got lucky then. Got the right one. Are you Miss Hart?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm Judge Dowd. Can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Ms. Shelton, you may proceed.
Your Honor, at this time, we're just recommending status quo. Mom's drug tests are still positive, but her levels are going down. The plan was for Logan to be moved to New Mexico by March 3rd. I don't know if that has happened or not. I haven't had an opportunity to speak to anyone. Okay, Ms. Hill is shaking her head no. I don't know what the status on that is. Mom is doing counseling via telehealth. She still has not started her parenting, and we need to get her to start addressing her mental health issues as well. She has had visits with the kids. Some of those have been virtual and some have been in person. If you recall at the last hearing, you had signed a move order because the home study on the placement was not approved for various reasons. We have been waiting on a placement for the children. We were trying to keep them all together. We found out that there was an option in Dallas, but it was going to split up the children. And then we also found out that foster home or the foster homes would not transport to the visits or meet halfway. So the visits were going to have to be in Dallas or possibly do them virtually. So we have not accepted that placement and really don't want to because of the issue with visitation. We've got Ms. Black seeing if there's any other possible placement options with friends or church members or people at the school, anybody that possibly Ms. Harp can come up with. At this time, we don't really have any other options. So we're just kind of status quo right now, Judge. I really don't want to accept the placement in Dallas due to the visitation and having to split up all the kids.
I'm not sure I've understood the part about New Mexico. What?
Logan, the oldest child, the one that he was on juvenile probation or is on juvenile probation. Part of the reason the kids were removed is they could not be in the house with Logan.
Right.
There was I think he's actually just a friend of the family that lives in New Mexico and said that Logan could come live with him. He was supposed to come pick Logan up on March 3rd. My understanding, juvenile probation was not in agreement with that. And then there was some confusion about whether they were or were not in agreement with that. I don't know I haven't gotten an update on that from juvenile probation.
Do you know where Logan is residing now?
He's residing with Ms. Hart.
Okay. Can you confirm that, Ms. Hart?
Your Honor, actually, Logan is leaving tomorrow, and Mark's coming tomorrow, and they'll be leaving out on Sunday.
Who is Mark?
Mark's a family friend. He's been in our lives since Logan was maybe before he was turned 1, somewhere around there. He's a really good guy. He's raised, I don't know how many kids, and they have all gone to college. They've all got good places to live and everything. And he is willing to take Logan in and give him the proper care that he needs.
Does he live in New Mexico?
Yes, sir. He lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yes, sir.
Did Logan get that cleared through juvenile probation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Your Honor,
I don't know how I'm still testing positive for anything. I haven't smoked. Tomorrow will be 4 weeks that I've done anything. I mean, I got rebaptized and I came home and I threw everything away. I don't talk to people that do it anymore. People that I thought that were my friends, they're not really my true friends anymore because I don't do it anymore. The only thing I haven't done was my parenting classes, and that was because I've been having medical issues.
And Judge, this isn't a hair follicle test, so it would go back 90 days. but her levels are going down.
Okay. Did you hear that, Ms. Harp?
Yes, sir. I just didn't want y'all to think that I'm sitting here lying to you, and I'm not. I mean, I haven't touched no drugs except for what the hospital has given me.
I'm required by law to continue to tell you that you have a right to an attorney, and the court would appoint you one if you wanted one.
Yes, sir, I do.
You want an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I contact legal aid, and they said because you have already told me that I can get a lawyer appointed to me, that they couldn't represent me.
You're not employed, are you?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I do home care. I work 11 hours a week, Monday through Thursday. I work 4 hours Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, I work 3 hours.
What are your earnings every month?
I just got paid today, so I make $9.20 an hour. So I'm almost $100, maybe under.
Okay. Let's see, Ms. Blackman, are you already in this case?
No, Your Honor.
You are now. I'm going to appoint you as Ms. Harp's attorney. She's requested one, and this case is, I have not heard that it's or any change for termination. I think the case still is a request for, or is on board for a return to the parent if everything can get resolved. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, do you see Ms. Harp? Do you see Ms. Blackman there? Can you see her?
No, sir. I saw her just a minute ago and then she went off. Only person I can see is you.
Okay. Well, she's going to represent you from here on out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, if
So
I might get the full name of the case again.
it's CCL 20C415. And it's in the interest of Tala Harp, James Harp, and Malaya Harp. The 3 children.
Move, lady. Move.
And the issue right now, the primary issue for today's hearing is basically where to place the children, if I understood correctly. Is that right, Ms. Shelton?
I'm sorry, say that again, Judge.
The issue today is where to place the children.
Yes, Your Honor. They're currently in a kinship placement. There was a move order signed by the court due to a failed home study, which I have serious concerns with. And the only option we have for placement right now is in Dallas County. And but the children would be split up and they can't be transported for visits. So we have not accepted that placement.
So where are they as we speak?
They're still in the house that does not have the approved home study.
So you don't think that's just some technical issue
Oh,
involved?
no, Judge.
Okay, who's my ad litem in this?
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Albertson.
Yes, sir. I mean, there's been some reports of some inappropriate behavior and things like that. I think those are being addressed. Most of it is just seems to be a lack of complete supervision, basically. Telling the children to go to a room and wait till dinner, things like that, and then walking in and, you know, some not real appropriate behavior based on what's went on before going on. So I think if we can find a placement to keep the kids together, and where Miss Harp can do some visits, that's going to be the optimal outcome. But we need to do something, because I from what I'm seeing it or hearing, it doesn't sound like the kids are getting the complete guidance and care that they need based on what's went on in this case before.
Okay. Casa?
Your Honor, my advocate's in agreement with Attorney Latham as well as the department on this one.
Well, from the court standpoint, it sounds like we're in between a rock and a hard place, because they don't apparently need to be continued where they are, nor do they need to be sent to Dallas. So where do we go from there?
Well, that's kind of, you're right. We're in between a rock and a hard place. And if you tell me to move them to Dallas, then we'll accept the placement in Dallas, and we can do virtual visits until I guess we find another placement.
Let me ask this question, and you're apparently very familiar with the problem at the current placement. If the court leaves them in that placement for, let's say, until April, the next hearing date, are they in any danger?
There are some concerns with the male in the household. Yes, I have concerns based on the home study and reports from references in that home study of him and things that he's done in the past. Yes.
Well, then if it's confirmed that the Logan Harp is in fact removed from the household to New Mexico, what about a monitored return to the mother? Too early for that?
Yeah, too early for that, Judge.
I don't want to send them to Dallas.
Your Honor, can I ask why it'd be too early for that? I mean, I work, I provide, I get them, I get them everything they need, and then I get everything they want. When I get food stamps, I buy only them food. I don't even buy myself food. I'd rather my kids eat before me. I mean, I work to make extra money so I can buy them, things, they might need, or just go and do something as a family. I mean, that's the only reason why I work, is so that we can have, like, go to the movies or go out to eat or go do something fun with them. I'm not a bad mom. I quit smoking weed. I mean, I don't know why I'm still testing positive. I shouldn't be. I haven't smoked in 4 weeks tomorrow. I mean, I'm doing everything. And the only thing I haven't done was my parenting classes. And that's because I had a partial hysterectomy and something's gone wrong. And now I got an infection in my colon. I mean, the doctor wanted to admit me into the hospital, and I told him, no, I have court on Friday. I have to be there when I should be laying in the hospital. I mean, I'm doing everything. I will walk through fire for my kids. But Your Honor, when my husband died, I had nowhere to put Logan. It's not like I intentionally brought him here to do anything wrong. I just didn't know what to do, Your Honor. That's it. I don't have no family here. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I really don't have family there. I mean, my dad's an alcoholic. I don't want my kids around that. And my sister and I, we don't even talk due to our own issues. I stay to myself here. I only have 2 people that I socialize with, and that's Misty and Earl. And the only reason why I talk to Earl is because I work for him. That's it. I go to church. I do everything that I'm supposed to do. I want to give my kids that Christian life and tell them, look, this is the way it's going to have to be, and this is the way it's going to be. I mean, Your Honor, I'm not a bad mom, and I can fill your court up room with everybody that will testify for me. I'm not.
Judge.
Yeah, yes.
The issue wasn't just Logan being there. A lot of the issue was mom's mental health issues, and not seeking mental health treatment. She was smoking weed as a substitute for mental health treatment and medications. And so that's one thing that she still has not really sought out and has not gotten under control. And now that she's not smoking marijuana, that's an issue that really needs to be addressed and gotten under control before we consider placing these kids back in the home.
Ms. Harp, I'm going to interject here and ask you probably not to say anything else until you and I have a chance to talk. And I can help you express what you want expressed to the judge next time, if that's okay with you.
Yes, ma'am. So for another word, just sit back and be quiet.
Well, if you choose to speak, you may say something to incriminate yourself. So that's up to you.
Yes, ma'am.
I think, Judge, I would feel more comfortable if there was something in the order, and I'm blanking out on the placement's name, but I would prefer that the husband not have any unsupervised contact with the kids. If there's a way that we can make it so that everything is supervised by the mother, what's her name?
McRae.
Miss McRae, as long as his access is supervised by Miss McRae.
What is the relationship? You said it was a kinship placement.
Miss Harp went to church with them.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that's the best we can do until April. I don't want to send them to Dallas either. I think that's the worst thing we could do for the children right now. And I do think that Ms. Harp is making an effort. The problem from the court's point of view is that she does have apparently a demonstrated history of using illegal substances. And it's a little early to determine whether she can get that under control or not.
Your Honor, if I may ask at this time, obviously I'm very new to this case, but has Ms. Harp done everything that she's been asked to do so far with regard to her mental health, and have things been set up for her to go and be evaluated? If that's something I need to address with her, I'm happy to do that. But I just wonder what has happened so far and what we need to do. Are there things in place she's supposed to do and hasn't done?
Ms. Black.
She did complete a psychological evaluation during her FBSS portion of this case. She has the contact information for Community Health Corps to do an intake with them to have a mental health treatment program established for her. She had expressed some, and she can explain that to you, Ms. Blackman, privately, some issues that she has had with Community Health Corps in the past. The other option that was presented, if she does not want to pursue it with Community Health Corps because of those issues, is Wellness Point, which is the treatment center out of the Longview Tyler area.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think for now, until Ms. Blackman can become familiar with her client's point of view and what she can present to the court, I'm going to continue the children in their current placement, but with the party which is mentioned by Ms. Shelton not having any unsupervised visitation with the children, supervision to be by his spouse.
Your Honor, their placement request packets are currently with the placement unit. who is the one that has to find placement for the children. If it kind of puts us in a situation too, because if you're asking for them to remain there till the next court hearing, they won't look for placement, because when they look for placement, we have a limited time, like 24 to 48 hours to accept or deny that placement. I guess my question is for us is, if with the stipulations in place with the McRae home, are we looking at them just staying there until they go to mom, or do you want us to still look for foster homes?
Well, yes.
If I may, I think we need to continue looking. I mean, just based off what mom has said, she's going through some health issues, potentially may need more surgeries, things of that nature. I'm not saying mom won't recover and won't be ready. I'm just saying I would like to, with the dangers that Miss Shelton brought forward before, I'd like to continue looking and just have that as a backup in case things with mom don't go as well as she's hoping they will.
I agree, Judge.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
So the stipulations for the McRae home are just in place until a suitable foster home can be located.
A suitable foster home that's
Acceptable.
within a certain distance. I don't want a foster home in Dallas under the circumstances. So it needs to be at least,
So within our region, a foster home within our region.
I would say at least not outside of that. We just take a look at it and see.
Well, our region goes to Tyler, Longview, Texarkana, Mount Pleasant, that area.
An area that where some meaningful visitation can still take place. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
All right. All right. That'll be the temporary order until the April hearing date, which would be what? April what?
16th, I think is what they said earlier.
Okay, April 16 at 9 a.m. And Ms. Harp, Ms. Blackman will advise you and she'll help you put forward your case. I understand what you're telling me. I'm not unsympathetic with it. I appreciate the fact that you're telling me that you have been drug-free at least for a month. It's not unusual that if you've been smoking marijuana for some period of time, it's
Yes,
going
sir.
to continue to show up.
Yes, sir.
On your hair follicle test, but it's hard to turn off that drug faucet, so to speak. So we have to know that you can and will do that over a period of time that tells us that you can. Okay.
Your Honor, it wasn't that hard for me to quit. Once I got baptized, I've had temptations, but when I feel that temptation, I go to my Bible, or I start praying, or I contact a friend in the church. I mean, actually, I thought it was going to be hard to quit, but it wasn't. I do not have the desire to put that stuff in my body anymore.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and you just keep that attitude, and we'll be able at appropriate time to bring these children back home. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else from anyone? Okay, we'll review this on April 16. And Ms. Harp, you may sign off.
And Your Honor, if I may request all of her contact information just be emailed as soon as possible.
Ms. Black will take care of that.
I have already sent it to her, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Cause number CCL 20C 438 in the interest of Cheyenne Lowry. This is a status hearing. Is Ms. Adams online?
He should be.
Your Honor, she's at Kirkpatrick, and the last time she called in with them, but I think they have a cell phone or a phone that they use. I think it might be the counselor's cell phone.
I still have a lot of unidentified phones.
Shelby, can you find out from them what phone they're on?
Yes, I was trying to call them right now.
Okay.
Your Honor, they said that they are on a computer. It may be under the name Barbara.
Barbara?
Barbara Burnett, I believe.
No, I have Ricky's phone, Galaxy Tab SSE. TM.
I think Ricky's phone is going to be on Arwood. TM should be on Morgan, maybe.
So possibly Galaxy Tab.
I would think that would be a phone, not a computer.
Right.
I mean, it might be a tablet if they're on a tablet.
The Galaxy Tab is going to be a tablet.
Maybe that's it. We'll find out.
That's them, Your Honor, I think.
Sounds like it.
I think.
Ms. Adams, are you there? Ms. Adams, are you there?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't think that was them. I'm still on the phone with them and they said that they haven't been let in the room yet. Does one of them say a Dell laptop? They said that they're on a Dell computer.
No. I have Ricky's phone and TM and Galaxy Tab. And that's it.
They said they're going to try to log out and then log back in.
It's going to be TM. They just showed up on there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Adams.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Can you turn on your video, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's see. Share screen down here, Ms. Barber. I'm sorry. That was it. Okay. Sorry.
All right. Let's see, Mr. Lowry, is he going to appear?
I doubt it, Judge.
I don't see his name on the waiting list. All right, Ms. Shelton, you may proceed.
Your Honor, Devin is still at Kirkpatrick with Cheyenne. They are doing really good. She's able to do her parenting and counseling there. They are also drug testing her there, and they also did a drug test for us. Obviously, Devin's testing negative. I don't know if we have a discharge date yet. I know they were checking on that, but she's wanting to go to her grandparents' house in Louisiana when she's released. So we're looking at doing a possible ICPC. We've gotten the fingerprints on grandma. We're waiting on grandpa's so we can request a home study. There is always a possibility that Miss Anderson and Miss Smith can go out and check out the home and see if they are okay with the placement, and we could place there, or the judge could place there prior to, without a full home study. But Devin has said that if that's not a possibility, she's agreed to stay at Longview and until we can get the home study back. But she does want to be close to family, obviously, to have that support when she is released from Kirkpatrick. As far as Lucas, really hasn't done much. He did try to go drug test one day when he was not sent, but then when he found out that his urine was going to be observed, he refused, and he refused to do a hair follicle. So no progress with Mr. Lowry, but I am very pleased with Miss Adams' progress, and I'm very hopeful that she will continue, especially if she is able to keep her family support.
Okay. Ms. Adams, do you know when you're going to be discharged?
I have an approximate date. I think a lot of it the closer to the 90 days ending will be a certainty, but my estimated date is the 21st of next month. And just to clarify, I am already doing some steps to find employment here. There's some possible employment there's a program here that I'm participating in, the CCC program, where they are helping me to locate employment and housing. So it's, I have an avenue either way we go that me and Cheyenne will be very happy with. But there are a lot of promising things here for us, so we're not going to be returning back to Atlanta by any means.
So you're either going to try to stay in Longview or try to go to your grandparents' house.
Yeah, yes, sir. All of the thing is, all of my belongings and Cheyenne's belongings are across state lines in Louisiana at my parents'. So in order to, I don't want to break any rules by leaving there to obtain my belongings to come back here. But we have avenues on both directions. It's whichever CPS, yeah, whichever CPS and yourself think would be best for us.
It sounds like you're doing really well there. Do you like the
Thank you.
program?
I do. I highly recommend the program.
We've had others go there and they liked it and were successful with it. So
Yes, sir. In the long term, the 2CC program is new. So this is kind of a start. They're kind of getting to show us what they can do, and the help that they've given us to get me started so that I have everything Cheyenne and I need is amazing. So yes, sir. And the classes are amazing. Hopefully when this COVID-19 thing clears up, we'll be able to do a lot more. It's kind of got everybody handicapped at the moment, but no, sir, I'm enjoying the program very much. I feel great. And Cheyenne is very happy. She's doing excellent here as well.
good. Who's my ad item? Carly?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm pleased with Miss Adams' progress, and I am certainly willing to go check out any home in Louisiana. Depending on what Miss Adams wants to do, I mean, maybe we could even go check it out so she could have both of those options and make a decision as she progresses a little more in her program at Kirkpatrick. But I don't have any additional recommendations or request any other modifications today.
Okay. Casa?
Your Honor, I'm in agreement and happy to go and check it out myself as well. And I'm in agreement with status quo. We're pleased with our progress. And I do have a concern with the father's lack of interest to participate in those services, but Mom's doing very well.
Well, I'm impressed with your having a backup plan. That's shows you put some thought into the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Done some real planning, something for you and the child. And she's what, 9 months now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's going on 21.
Okay. Okay.
The only, if I may say, the only concern I have, my grandfather, if you remember from earlier, way back, he had fallen very ill. And the reason we haven't been able to get him up there is because he's on a breathing machine. We thought he had lung cancer, but it's some type of ailment, it's a disease that he's got, and he can't get out. That's why he hasn't gone and done what my grandmother has done. So I would need some, if Casa and Ms. Carly, or I'm sorry, Ms. Shelton, if they could look into that for me, because I don't know that he could make the trip from home to the courthouse. That's part of the issue, and why he hasn't. I know Ms. Jessica has been, she was my previous case worker, and Ms. Jessica has been out to the house a couple of times and met both of them. But I just don't think his health is going to be permittable for him to make that trip. He doesn't leave at all. He's bedridden.
She's in the waiting room. Should I let her in, Ms. Hill?
No, I mean, what she's referring to during the FBSS case, that Jessica asked for her grandparents to get their background checks from the courthouse in Louisiana so that we could request the ICPC. Grandmother got hers, but grandfather, she's saying, can't leave the home to go do it. We can't request an ICPC without both of those background checks. But on the other hand, if Cheyenne is technically placed with her mom, and if Casa and Latham go out to the house, Casa and the Latham go out to the house, and they're fine with Devin moving there with Cheyenne, it's not necessarily an ICPC situation because we're not placing with the grandparents. We're just approving the mother to move there. So it just really depends on the direction you want us to go from this point. I mean, we could even Shelby can have permission to go across state lines and and see the home and visit the home. As it wouldn't be more, it's not really an ICPC if we're not placing with the grandparents, if we're just letting Devin go there. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, I think it needs to be checked out because she doesn't know yet exactly which way she's going to go, and she's done a good job making some alternative plans, but she may be released next month. So we're going to need to be able to tell her which way we want her to go, and we can't do that unless the Louisiana grandparents are checked out. So let's go ahead and do that to the degree that it can be done by the next hearing date. And I think we probably ought to wait until May, which should come after her release from Kirkpatrick. So that'll be May 7th.
Your Honor.
Yes.
The ladies here have let me know that if in the case that I need an extension here, that they can do that as well. That way I'm not, my hand's not forced to push me in a direction that could put me out too soon, or they're willing to extend my stay here if need be, to go that route. Now, like I said, I can establish a home here, which is actually the steps that I've been taking to do. But if they need to let me stay here with Cheyenne for a little bit longer to accommodate that, they're more than happy to do so.
Well, I guess I would more or less defer to their judgment on that. If they think you're ready, then you're ready,
Yes, sir.
If they think you're not, then we might take a look at extending it. But if they're saying you're ready to go, then I don't.
It wouldn't be like an extension of program. It would just be an extension of stay, so that we would have enough time to exit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just having a place to stay. Okay.
Yes, sir. So that the courts are not concerned about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Your Honor, I don't want to speak for Ms. Smith, but I doubt she would disagree. If we need to go out and check the home out in Louisiana before the April court date, because it sounds like Ms. Adams, she's potentially being released at the end of April. So if we needed to go check that home out and come back in April to kind of get a better bearing of where the case is going, I certainly can do that.
What about CASA?
I'm on board with that, Your Honor.
Okay. So you want me to set it for April?
Yes, sir. I think that would give us the opportunity to get out to the grandparents' home. And then also we could touch base again with Miss Adams before her expected release date from Kirkpatrick, so that we can have an idea of whether or not she's going to stay there or go back with her parents in Louisiana.
Okay. All right, we'll review it in April then. What's the April date?
I think it's the 16th.
16th.
Okay. We'll go ahead and review it then in April, and maybe we'll have the information from Ms. Anderson and CASA at that time. Anything else in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Well, good job, Ms. Adams. Thank you very much. Look forward to being able to dismiss this case, hopefully in the near future.
Me too. Thank you.
And you're excused. You can sign off.
Your Honor, I believe that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is CCL 21C070, the Alexandria Arwood, Ariana Arwood, interest of children.
Your Honor, I asked Mr. Attaway to let me know who all the people were and what they were on before we started this one. She said, I mean, Jessica Attaway needs to be in, August Crawley, and Ricky Spone.
Okay. Yeah, I had asked the department to try to get that information. I don't know if y'all are doing that or not. It sure be
I
helpful.
know. And then she said that the grandparents are on a laptop. The parents are on their phone. It's an iPad and a Samsung Galaxy and a blue G9 Pro.
Well, let me go through this. Morgan is not this. Baker, T. Baker. Nathan
That's for Morgan.
August.
That's for Morgan. August is this one.
This one.
Yes, sir.
Arwood is this one.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And Scott Arwood is this one. Angela Polk.
That's Morgan.
Galaxy Tab. SSE. S5E.
I think that's this one. The grandparents, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're getting called in. Let me,
I think both parents are trying to connect. Mr. Scott Arwood, can you hear me, sir?
hold this, let me go help them.
Scott Arwood. I have Athena Arwood. Is she here?
They're trying.
Go click right here and all your options should show up.
Okay, well, if you'll, because you said the call thing, we pushed the call instead of the other one.
Oh, you got to do the call one.
Athena Arwood, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes, sir, but I'm trying to get my video going
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Sorry.
And let's see if Scott can hear us. Scott Arwood, can you hear us?
Scott, the judge is trying to see if you can hear him. Let's see.
Turn it up then. You might need to turn that Bluetooth off in there. Well, my video is not wanting to.
Now say you can hear him. Talk to him and say I'm here.
I'm here. I can hear you now.
You're Scott Arwood, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Judge Dowd. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Now we're waiting on Athena. She appears to be connected, but muted.
Said you're muted. Yeah, muted. Why don't you and Scott just share one thing?
Did you back out and come back in?
It makes it be easier if they get on one phone, Judge.
Yeah,
I agree.
On phone.
Hang on, let me.
It's always this way with technology.
Okay. She's back there with them.
Hang on. You were muted.
I gotta come with you. Mom hit the wrong button,
Okay.
so you can't do it.
Okay, that's fine. Come sit down. Sit down.
Okay, here we go. Sorry.
So do I have Scott and Athena
Yes.
Arwood?
We're
Okay.
gonna, yes, we're gonna go outside where it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit dark in here.
All right.
Okay.
And let's see, I have the grandparents on on a Galaxy Tab phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Let me ask the grandparents to identify yourselves for the record, please. Just give me your names if you would.
Charlotte Gephardt.
Thomas Gephardt.
How do you spell your last name?
Gepert.
Did you get that, Libby?
Spell that one more time. I think it's stuttered.
Gepert.
Thank you.
So that's G is in George, E is in Edward, P is in Paul, P-E-R-T, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, very good. All right, we have everyone here, so Ms. Shelton, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I believe we have an agreement in this case. It originally started out as an FBSS case, but at this time we are requesting that TMC be granted to the department. The parents have agreed to work services and to move out of the home at this time. The department cannot recommend placement with the grandparents because there is not a home study with this department right now. Now, there has been a previous home study where they have custody of a younger cousin. And we do have a copy of that home study, but because of some background checks and things like that, we're not able to, not bad background checks. We don't have the background checks, so we can't recommend placement, but I believe the ad litem and CASA may have some recommendations on that. We are requesting that Athena and Scott continue drug testing at the request of the department, that they follow the recommendations of the EDCATA evaluation, which I believe both of them have already completed, that they take parenting classes, that they submit to individual and family counseling, which we're going to request counseling for the children as well, and that they both complete a psychological. As far as visitation, we're going to recommend that the visitation be supervised by the grandparents. At this time, we would like that to be limited to 4 hours per week, 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, and then 2 hours on the weekend, and that can be determined by the Gephardts.
That's not what she told us.
And then as the drug tests became negative, then we will increase that visitation.
Okay. Mr. and Ms. Arwood, did you hear what she said?
Yes, we heard it.
Are you in agreement with that proposal?
All of it except the visitation. That's
What
that
was your
nothing.
understanding?
It's not that we don't understand.
That's not what we were discussing yesterday.
I mean, that just is not very much time. I mean, I've been a stay-at-home mom since the day that they were born. They've never went a day without me. So that's not very much time.
Are the Gephardts, are they your parents or his parents?
Yes, sir. They're my parents.
They're your parents, okay.
Yes, sir.
And what was the proposal, Ms. Shelton, 4 hours a week?
4 hours per week. I'm being told that Tuesday is not a good day for visitation, but we would recommend 4 hours per week, 2 hours during the week and 2 hours on the weekend. And the reason that that's being limited is parents are still testing positive for methamphetamines, and that the children need some structure during the week with their school days. And I think Ms. Blackman can speak more to that.
Okay, Ms. Blackman?
Yes, sir. I have a little more to say on this one than I do most cases that you hear me speak on, but I have been to this home. You've got 3 generations of people living there. It is an extremely toxic situation with the parents living in the grandparents' home because
No, it's not, that's not correct.
We're not arguing. We're not arguing. Let her finish.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm going to have quite a bit more to say. And if it's anything like when I was at the home the other night, they'll be interrupting me the whole time.
No, they
So,
won't.
warning the court. It's the grandparents' home, and they are allowing the parents to live there. The girls also have 1 room apiece. I visited a long time with the girls. They're some of the brightest children that I think I've been around in ages. I mean, extremely, extremely bright. They have not previously had much structure. There's been no parenting going on. While Ms. Arwood may be staying home, she's not parenting. That's obvious. The children have asked me to ask you, well, first of all, I need to explain to the court that the level of toxicity and argument going on in that home, because the grandparents may ask the girls to clean their room or some sort of structure, and then the parents undo everything the grandparents try to do. So it's a very hostile place. Now, before I visited, I asked grandmother if she would please just leave everything as it was. Don't, clean anything up, for my visit as far as the children's rooms were concerned. And when I arrived, the room that I visited with them in was a complete mess. And while I was there and the mom became aware that I was in that room, she cleaned up the other room. And these children are there with lots of devices. They've got their tablet, I think there's a small phone, but you can tell that they've been playing a lot of video games and things like that. They had 2 huge 2-gallon buckets of candy. So to me, the impression that I got is that the way they've been parenting is, hey, let's see how we can keep these kids occupied, and just leaving them to eat candy, leave their rooms in a mess, not go to school. See, they're just now back in school. So the structure is evolving, but the oldest child, who's extremely bright, reports to me that she's bored with school, and I hope that we can get her in some advanced classes. The younger child is also smart, but they're wonderful young ladies. Now, they have been lied to. They did not know that the reason that they had a lawyer and had a CPS case had anything to do with their parents. They've been told it was all because of Aunt Christine, the person that took them and drove them off into the pasture. So that's what both girls told me. They had no idea. They knew that I was their attorney because they were told that, but they didn't have any idea. And so I very gently asked, do you know why I'm here? And they said, oh, well, it's probably because of Aunt Christine. And gradually I let them guess a few more times. And then I gently told them why I was there. And they didn't seem to be surprised. So what I noticed in the home, I had asked the parents, I did not want to visit with the parents because I anticipated they were going to need attorneys. And I did not think it was appropriate at that time for me to really get into an in-depth visitation with the parents. I did visit first with the kids, and then I went into the living room and visited with the kids and the grandparents together. Then I visited individually with the grandparents. Another problem that has occurred in that home, it is the best place for them, and I am recommending that the court put them there. I know there's stuff we're waiting on background checks, but there's a precious little child there too that is Christine's child, and you can tell real well with her.
I need y'all, I can't hear her when y'all are speaking, please. Go ahead.
And anyway, I know that I'm speaking for a long time, and I apologize for that, but this is important. It seemed to me that the grandparents, while highly frustrated by being told what to do by the parents who are basically freeloading, it seemed to me that there was a lot of frustration by them trying to help with the kids and everything being undone, which results in the children having no structure at home. It is my understanding mom goes to a methadone clinic first thing in the morning, then just stays home all day and doesn't really parent. So dad goes to work. While I was there, even though I had asked that they not be involved, they came into an area that was kind of a common area and slammed doors and muttered and made comments and were just overall just rude and disruptive. And so I believe that what needs to happen, besides the kids getting in counseling, they did ask me for counseling. I didn't even mention it. They asked, and they asked that they have a female counselor. The other request they had is that I please thank the FBI guy who helped find them when Aunt Christine took off with them. I don't know who that gentleman is, but that was a request by the children. So I also would highly recommend, simply because we're going to go through a transition where the girls are going to be needing a little bit more structure and a little bit more structure, but I don't want the grandparents to think, okay, they're out of the house now, we're going to lay down a whole bunch of harsh rules. I think the grandparents need to go to about maybe 6 sessions of counseling, 6 weeks, to work on that transition while mom and dad are working on their own issues. I do not think the grandparents need to supervise the visitation because of the highly toxic situation that occurs every time they are in the presence of the parents. That needs to settle down and cool down for a while, and maybe later that can go back to the way it was. But right now I would recommend the supervised access be at the department. And I agree that it doesn't need to be every day. I am afraid that the parents will keep undermining the authority that school and the grandparents are trying to gradually develop so that they have some structure. I'm just very concerned that if the parents stay in that home or the visitation occurs in that home, there will be constant fighting like what I saw the other night. I do believe the grandparents are good people. I guess if the background check comes back and proves me wrong, it does. But I have observed them in the home with the baby, with the girls. Grandfather's a little on the stern side, but he hasn't had control of his own household for some time now. So I've talked to him about that. He's frustrated, but I think that can be worked on. So I'm basically in agreement with everything that the DA has asked for here, except that the grandparents supervise the visitation. And I am also requesting counseling for the grandparents just temporarily so that they can transition to this new situation. Because I do think it's going to take these 2 particular parents a while to go through the services and all of that, because up till now, there's been no admission that they've even done anything wrong. So they have a long road. And I want the girls to be as stable as possible and as safe, to feel as safe as possible during that time. So I believe that concludes what I needed to say, and I'm sorry for taking up quite so much of your time.
All right, thank you. Let's see, let me talk to the Orwoods. Okay, Ms. Arwood, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me tell you how this works and go back and sort of reorient you to the legal proceeding. The Department of Family Protective Services has filed a petition in this court asking that they be appointed what's called the temporary managing conservator of the children. That's basically, that's custody is what, that's the legal name for custody.
Yes, sir.
There are 2 admonitions that I have to give both of you that are required by law. First of all, do each of you understand that if you are either unable or unwilling to provide your children with a safe home environment, then that could eventually result in a termination of your parental rights? Do you
Yes,
understand
sir.
that? You understand that's not the goal right now. That's not
Yes,
what
sir.
they're asking the court to do. The second point I need to tell you is that you are entitled to be represented by an attorney
Yes, sir.
in the case if you are financially, if the court finds that you're indigent and financially unable to afford a lawyer, then you could ask the court to appoint you a lawyer. Do you both understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, the court, what it comes down to is if you agree with what the department is proposing today, then the court's going to enter that temporary order. And I am not required to appoint you a lawyer because you're in agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, if you do not agree, then, and if I find you to be indigent, then I can appoint you a lawyer. And I would probably have to put this case off. I would have to reset it until you'd have a chance to meet with your lawyer and go over all of that and go back to court.
And what would that entail?
It would entail a hearing whereby the department would put on evidence to show the court that the children should be removed, or to show that they allege that the children should be removed from your care. And your attorney or attorneys would represent you at that hearing. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, now,
What would,
basically,
what would happen with the kids in the meantime?
they would stay where they are. They would stay where they're placed right now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Basically, what you've told me so far is that you're in agreement with the plan. You have a question about the visitation time that the department is proposing. But I can't, you either agree or disagree. In other words, I can't get in there and negotiate for you or change the agreement or not.
Yes, sir.
So it's a package. There may be some things in the package you don't like, but you may agree, you have to agree with the whole package or disagree with the whole package.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'll ask you at this point, are you in agreement or not in agreement?
No, I'm not, sir, because several things that were said are not true.
Absolute, complete false statements. So,
Okay.
And we were not told it would be 4 hours a week last night when we discussed it either.
Okay.
So we didn't agree to that. We agreed to something a little different than that. But
Are you applying for an attorney?
yes, we will.
Okay. Is there any reason one attorney could not represent both of you?
no, sir, no reason.
Okay. Let me ask you about your financial status. All I know at this point is that you've been living with her parents.
No, sir. Actually, we all moved here into this home together, splitting the bills 50-50. My
Okay.
mother will attest to that. We have never freeloaded. We have always paid our portion of the bills.
Well, are either one of you employed right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I work at JCM Industries.
And what are your earnings there?
I make $15.50 an hour.
Okay. And do you work at least 40 hours a week?
Yes, sir.
And ma'am, where are you employed?
I am a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. What is your gross pay per month, Mr. Harwood?
About 2,300.
Is that your sole income for both you and her and the two children? Okay. All right. I'm going to grant your request for an attorney. Mr. Lee, you've heard all of this, haven't you?
I haven't been paying attention, but I'm here.
Okay. Can you see Mr. Lee on your screen, Mr.
Yes,
Harwood?
sir.
All right. That's Mr. Randall Lee. He's an attorney in Atlanta, Texas. and I'm appointing him to represent you in this case.
Thank you.
I'm going to reset the hearing in the case for, I need to know when I can reset it.
Your Honor, may I ask quickly, are they going to be required to leave the home now? Because the tension is so bad and so toxic that it's not good for those children.
No, I'm not going to make any orders until that I haven't already made. Until we have a chance to have a hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Would March 15th be too soon?
That's fine with me.
Well, the lawyer needs to be able to.
Randy?
Randall, are you available?
I'm
on the
looking at
15th?
my schedule. I've got court, I think with you, Judge, on the 15th.
Is that a Friday?
It's a Monday, Judge.
Monday.
We have another hearing that was scheduled for that date, so I thought that would work.
Okay. If Randy's available, then we could do it then.
Your Honor, I'm available.
I'm sure I can do it. If it's court, I don't know if it's you or if it's the 5th, but they'd wait on me.
Okay. And I'll set the hearing for March 15 at 9 a.m. It will be on Zoom, so y'all will have to sign in the same way that you
Yes,
did
sir.
today. In the
Yes.
meantime, since there's a very short window, you need to get with Mr. Lee as soon as he's available to get with you so that he can advise you where to go from this point.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Y'all call me and set up an appointment as soon as you can.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lee.
All right. That'll conclude this hearing for today. We'll resume the hearing, the removal hearing on March 15 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
Your Honor, I believe that's all I have before you today. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Mr. and Ms. Arwood, you can sign off also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Next case is CCL 21C074. Well, before I call that, Mr. Alverson, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
The Butterfield matter, where do we stand on that?
Well, I've been trying to run down the paperwork, Your Honor. We did a first set and we sent it, and Mr. Butterfield wanted some things worded differently, and it wasn't an issue with.
I could make this a lot quicker, Gary. I think we've agreed to reset this, if you're okay, Judge, until March 15th, if Randy's in agreement.
Randy?
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
We'll give Gary an opportunity to get his paperwork. You're welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
He has, as far as you know, executed an affidavit of relinquishment?
By all accounts.
Okay. Reset for March 15 at 9 o'clock.
Your Honor, that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And Your Honor, that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. CCL 21C074, interest of the Morgan children. That's going to be Cassie Morgan. Is T. Baker in that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nathan Morgan, Angela Polk.
Yes, sir.
There's two Angela Polks.
Excuse me.
I don't see Ms. Okay, she's not connected yet.
Hello?
Yes. Mr. Morgan?
Yes, I'm here now.
Can
Sorry
you
about
hear,
that.
can you hear me and see me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm still waiting on Cassie Morgan to connect. She may have to get off and try again. There she is. Ms. Morgan, can you hear me okay? Ms. Morgan, can you hear me? All right, Ms. Morgan, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
Very good. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then for the record, this is cause number CCL 21C074 regarding the Morgan children. It's a request for order to participate. Record will reflect that both Cassie Morgan and Nathan Morgan appear by way of Zoom. And Ms. Shelton, do you need to put on any evidence?
No, Your Honor, I think both parents are in agreement with working services. I believe Ms. Polk has spoken with both of them.
Okay. Ms.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Judge.
Ms. Morgan, are you in agreement with working services in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you familiar with what those services will be?
From what I understand, parenting classes, drug classes, and drug tests.
Is that right, Ms. Sheldon?
Along with counseling and a psychological evaluation.
Okay. In agreement with that, Ms. Morgan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What about Mr. Morgan? He's not a respondent in this case, is he?
Yes, he is, Judge.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yes, and same services for him as well.
Mr. Morgan, are you in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. If there is an agreement, then I'll adopt the agreement of the parties and order both parties to participate in services as offered by the department. Is there anything else to take up in this case?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right. I will say, of course, Ms. Morgan, Mr. Morgan, I'm a lot more familiar with your cases than I would be otherwise, because I think I heard a more than one fairly lengthy custody case between the two of you, did I not?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I do agree that you need to undergo some services. I think it would be beneficial to both of you. I know it would be beneficial to the children. So please take it seriously. And that'll be the end of this case as long as you comply, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anyone have anything else before we sign off?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court's adjourned. The parties are excused.